The air crackled with a strange, obsessive energy. Collecta, sister to the infamous Collector, paced her dimly lit lair, her eyes gleaming with a cold, vengeful light. Her brother, humiliated and defeated by the Teen Titans and their allies, had been reduced to a mere footnote. That would not stand. They think they've won, she hissed, her voice a low, grating rasp. They think they've seen the last of the Collector bloodline. They are wrong. With a flick of her wrist, a swirling portal of shimmering, multicolored energy appeared. From it, she began to pull forth her creations, each a twisted reflection of her own burning rage. First, a figure emerged, vast and corpulent, its uniform stained with grease, and its face a mask of furious hunger. This was her McDonald's manager, a being whose strength was fueled by an unholy diet of Big Macs and a deep-seated resentment of healthy living. Crush them, Collecta commanded, her voice echoing through the chamber. Crush them with the weight of 1,000 value meals. Next, a wisp of emerald smoke coalesced into a figure of unsettling power. A miniature witch, her eyes glowing with malevolent green light, floated above the ground, her tiny hands crackling with raw magic. This was her witch power puff girl, a being born of spite and sugar, her powers a chaotic blend of dark sorcery and childish fury. Turn their heroes into toads, Collecta instructed, a cruel smile spreading across her face. Turn their hope into despair. Finally, a figure stepped through the portal, a warrior clad in mismatched armor and wielding a lasso that looked suspiciously like cheap rope. This was her Wonder Woman warrior, a $2.12 knockoff, a pale imitation of true heroism, but imbued with enough raw, chaotic energy to make her a formidable foe. Show them what true power looks like, Collecta snarled, her eyes burning with a dark intensity. Show them the price of crossing the Collector family. With her grotesque army assembled, Collecta unleashed them upon the world, a chaotic force of fast food fury, witchy whimsy, and bargain bin brutality. The Teen Titans and their allies would soon learn that revenge, like a cheap knockoff, could be surprisingly effective, and that Collecta's collection of vengeance was just beginning.
Oh, sorry.
The first sign of trouble manifested as a citywide food riot. Not a typical riot, mind you, but a chaotic, greasy stampede. The McDonald's manager, now a hulking behemoth of processed food and rage, led the charge, his very presence causing nearby fast food joints to spontaneously combust into rivers of molten cheese and French fry lava. People, driven by an unnatural hunger, fought over discarded wrappers and spilled soda, their eyes glazed with a disturbing fast food-induced frenzy. The Teen Titans, alerted to the disturbance, arrived to find a scene of utter pandemonium. Robin, ever the strategist, attempted to coordinate a response, but his orders were lost in the cacophony of burps, belches, and the unsettling sizzle of deep-fried chaos. Meanwhile, the Witch Power Puff Girl was sowing her own brand of mayhem. With a flick of her tiny wrist, she turned a squad of police officers into warty, croaking toads. Superboy, attempting to intervene, found himself entangled in a swarm of sentient, sugar-crazed butterflies, their wings coated in a sticky, magical syrup that rendered him temporarily immobile. The Wonder Woman warrior, despite her obviously inferior equipment, proved to be surprisingly effective. Her cheap lasso, imbued with Collecta's chaotic energy, could bind even the strongest heroes, and her erratic, unpredictable fighting style kept her opponents constantly off balance. Starfire, trying to reason with her, was met with a barrage of poorly aimed, but surprisingly powerful, kicks and punches. The heroes were overwhelmed. The city was in a state of utter disarray. The air was thick with the smell of grease, burnt sugar, and toad slime. Collecta, watching from her lair, cackled with glee. Her revenge was unfolding beautifully. They thought they could defeat my brother, she hissed, her eyes gleaming with malicious satisfaction.
They thought they could dismiss the Collector bloodline. Now they will learn the true meaning of chaos. Now they will understand the power of a well-executed, if slightly budget-conscious, revenge. She then began to work on her next creations, muttering about a discount Superman and a slightly used Green Lantern ring. The Teen Titans
and the world had only seen the beginning. The chaos intensified. The McDonald's manager, now a walking, talking grease fire, had begun to absorb other fast food establishments, growing larger and more powerful with each greasy gulp. He was a culinary kaiju, a walking testament to the dangers of overconsumption and unchecked rage. He began to speak, his voice a deep, guttural rumble, a distorted echo of every drive-through order ever taken. Would you like fries with that? Doom? He boomed, sending waves of ketchup-scented shockwaves through the city. The Witch Power Puff Girl, bored with toads, had moved on to more elaborate transformations. She turned a flock of pigeons into miniature, fire-breathing dragons, and then, for no apparent reason, transformed a fire hydrant into a sentient tap-dancing octopus. Her magic was wild, unpredictable, and utterly disruptive. Cyborg, attempting to hack her magical energy source, found himself fighting a barrage of sentient, glitter-covered teddy bears that exploded into clouds of sticky cotton candy. The Wonder Woman warrior, meanwhile, had begun to display a surprising level of tactical ingenuity, despite her obviously limited resources. She used her cheap lasso to create makeshift tripwires, trapping unsuspecting heroes. She used her mismatched armor as improvised shields, deflecting energy blasts and physical attacks. And, in a particularly inspired move, she used her knockoff tiara as a surprisingly effective boomerang. The Teen Titans, battered and bewildered, found themselves retreating, their usual teamwork fractured by the sheer absurdity of the situation. They were fighting a food-fueled behemoth, a chaotic witch, and a bargain bin Amazon. It was a surreal nightmare, a fever dream of fast food and discount store villainy. Collecta, observing the carnage from her lair, was ecstatic. Her plan was working perfectly. She had tapped into the primal fears and petty grievances of the everyday world, amplifying them into weapons of mass destruction. She knew that the heroes could handle supervillains with grand schemes and elaborate gadgets, but could they handle the pure, unadulterated chaos of a world gone mad with consumerism and cheap knockoffs? They underestimate the power of the mundane, she muttered, her eyes gleaming with triumph. They underestimate the power of the overlooked, the discarded, the forgotten. They will learn. They will all learn. She then began to work on her next creation, a slightly used Batman made of cardboard and duct tape. She was just getting started. The city was a greasy, glittery, amphibian-infested wasteland. The McDonald's manager, now a colossal walking fast food mountain, had begun to emit a strange hypnotic hum, a low droning sound that compelled anyone who heard it to crave a double cheeseburger with extra pickles. People wandered the streets, their eyes glazed over, chanting, "I'm lovin' it," in a disturbing unison drone. The Witch Power Puff Girl, bored with simple transformations, had begun to create pocket dimensions, tiny, chaotic realities that popped up randomly throughout the city. One moment you'd be walking down the street, and the next you'd find yourself trapped in a miniature world made entirely of gummy bears, or facing a horde of sentient sock puppet monsters. The Wonder Woman warrior, proving that even a knockoff can be resourceful, had begun to utilize the environment to her advantage. She used discarded shopping carts as makeshift battering rams, and turned street signs into improvised spears. She even managed to weaponize a flock of disgruntled pigeons, coating them in a sticky knockoff superglue and sending them on kamikaze missions against the heroes. The Teen Titans, exhausted and overwhelmed, were struggling to maintain any semblance of order. Robin's tactical mind was reeling, unable to compute the sheer randomness of the attacks. Starfire's attempts to reason with the villains were met with blank stares and fast food slogans. Cyborg's systems were overloaded with magical glitches and digital grease. And Superboy, still covered in sticky magical syrup, was reduced to a slow, clumsy crawl. Collecta, reveling in the chaos, decided to add another layer of absurdity to her attack. She unleashed her slightly used Batman, a cardboard cutout with googly eyes and a voice box that played a loop of dramatic but slightly muffled whispers. This Batman wasn't particularly effective, but its sheer presence added to the overall sense of surreal madness. It would occasionally fall over or get caught in a gust of wind, but it would always pop back up, whispering cryptic, nonsensical phrases. "The night is slightly used," it whispered, before falling face first into a puddle of spilled milkshake. Collecta's plan was working perfectly. She had created a weapon of pure, unadulterated chaos, a force that was impossible to predict, impossible to counter. The Teen Titans, accustomed to fighting logic and reason, were facing a foe that operated on the principles of absurdity and discount store mayhem. The city was hers, and she was just getting started on the limited time offer of her revenge. The city's infrastructure began to buckle under the weight of Collecta's chaotic onslaught. The McDonald's manager's gravitational pull, fueled by sheer caloric density, was warping the very fabric of reality, causing buildings to tilt and streets to curve unnaturally. The hypnotic hum intensified, turning into a full-blown jingle, a maddeningly catchy tune that played on an endless loop, driving citizens to a frenzy of consumerism. The Witch Power Puff Girl, now bored with pocket dimensions, had begun to merge realities, creating bizarre, hybrid environments. One street might suddenly transform into a medieval castle made of cotton candy, while another would become an underwater disco, complete with synchronized swimming sharks. The laws of physics were mere suggestions, and the very concept of normal had become a distant memory. The Wonder Woman warrior, demonstrating a surprising knack for guerrilla warfare, had turned the city's abandoned subway tunnels into her personal playground. She used the darkness and narrow passages to her advantage, ambushing the heroes with surprise attacks and disappearing into the shadows before they could react. She had also commandeered a runaway subway train, transforming it into a mobile fortress of knockoff weaponry. The Teen Titans, their morale flagging, were forced to retreat to Titan's Tower, their once imposing headquarters now surrounded by a swirling vortex of fast food debris, magical glitter, and discount store detritus. Inside, they huddled around a holographic display, trying to make sense of the chaos. "This is insane," Robin muttered, his voice strained. "There's no logic to any of this. It's like a bad dream," Starfire said, her eyes wide with confusion. "A very greasy, glittery dream." Cyborg, his system still struggling to process the magical anomalies, could only manage a series of frustrated beeps and whirs. Superboy, still struggling to remove the sticky, magical syrup, was reduced to pacing back and forth, leaving a trail of glittery footprints. Collecta, watching their despair from her lair, cackled with glee. "They thought they could stop me," she hissed, her voice dripping with malice. "They thought they could contain my chaos. But they were wrong. They underestimated the power of the absurd. They underestimated the power of the knockoff. And now, they will pay the price." She then began to work on her most ambitious creation yet, a slightly used Justice League, assembled from spare parts, discount costumes, and a generous helping of pure, unadulterated spite. She was determined to show the world that even the most iconic heroes could be reduced to cheap imitations, and that chaos, in its purest, most ridiculous form, would always prevail.
I bet she did.
Just as the Titans were reaching their lowest point, a portal shimmered into existence within the tower's main chamber. Batgirl, Raven, Kid Flash, and Supergirl stepped through, their faces grim, but their eyes filled with a renewed determination. They had just returned from a mission in another dimension, a mission that, while challenging, paled in comparison to the utter madness that awaited them at home. "What in the name of Azarath is going on?" Raven asked, her voice a low, ominous rumble as she surveyed the chaotic scene. The air was thick with the smell of grease and burnt sugar, and the holographic display showed a city consumed by a surreal fast food-fueled apocalypse. "Collecta," Robin said, his voice tight with frustration. "She's unleashed some kind of discount store nightmare." Batgirl, ever the pragmatist, quickly assessed the situation. "We need a plan," she said, her eyes scanning the holographic display. "And we need it fast." Kid Flash, ever the optimist, tried to lighten the mood. "Well, at least it's not another interdimensional demon invasion," he quipped, before wincing at the sheer absurdity of the situation. "Though, honestly, this is somehow worse." Supergirl, her brow furrowed in concentration, focused on the readings from the city. "The energy signatures are chaotic," she said. "It's like she's warping reality itself." Raven, sensing the dark energy radiating from the city, added, quote, "And it's growing stronger. Her power is feeding off the chaos, amplifying it." Batgirl began to formulate a strategy. "We need to divide and conquer," she said. "Kid Flash, your speed can help us contain the McDonald's manager and its culinary catastrophe. Supergirl, your strength and flight can help us neutralize the pocket dimensions and the hybrid realities created by the witch power Puff Girl. Raven, your magic can help us disrupt the energy signatures and create barriers against the chaotic effects. Robin and I will focus on the Wonder Woman warrior and the slightly used Batman. Cyborg will have to remain here and try to fix the systems and create a counter-frequency to the burger hum." "And what about me?" Superboy asked, still struggling to remove the magical syrup. "You," Batgirl said, her voice firm, "are going to stay here and try to get that syrup off. We need you at full strength, and we can't risk you being covered in more of her creations." The Titans, bolstered by the arrival of their reinforcements, felt a renewed sense of hope. They knew that Collecta's chaos was formidable, but they also knew that they were stronger together. They were the Teen Titans, and they would not allow a discount store apocalypse to destroy their city. They were ready to fight, even if that fight was against the most absurd and greasy of foes. With a renewed sense of purpose, the Titans sprang into action. Kid Flash, a blur of motion, raced through the city streets, attempting to corral the McDonald's manager. He used his speed to create miniature tornadoes of discarded wrappers and empty soda cups, trying to redirect the colossal fast food monster away from populated areas. However, the manager's gravitational pull was immense, and Kid Flash found himself constantly battling against the tide of grease and processed food. Supergirl, soaring through the sky, used her heat vision to disrupt the pocket dimensions and hybrid realities created by the Witch Power Puff Girl. She carefully targeted the seams between realities, attempting to seal them shut before they could spread further. However, the witch's magic was unpredictable. and new pocket dimensions were constantly popping up, forcing Supergirl to play a chaotic game of whack-a-mole. Raven, her eyes glowing with dark energy, focused on disrupting the chaotic energy signatures that were warping the city. She conjured shimmering barriers of dark magic, attempting to contain the spread of the McDonald's manager's hypnotic hum and the Witch Powerpuff Girls' reality-bending magic. However, the sheer volume of chaotic energy was overwhelming, and Raven found herself struggling to maintain control. Robin and Batgirl, working in perfect sync, ventured into the abandoned subway tunnels to confront the Wonder Woman warrior. They used their combined skills in martial arts and stealth to navigate the dark, labyrinthine tunnels, anticipating the warrior's surprise attacks. The fight was a chaotic dance of shadows and steel, with the warriors' knockoff weapons proving surprisingly effective against their advanced technology. Meanwhile, Cyborg, back at Titan's Tower, was working tirelessly to repair the damaged systems and create a counter-frequency to the McDonald's manager's hypnotic hum. He was battling a barrage of magical glitches and digital grease, his circuits overloaded with chaotic energy. However, he was determined to restore order to the tower and provide support to his teammates. Superboy, still struggling to remove the magical syrup, was using his super strength to tear through the sticky substance, inch by inch. He was frustrated and impatient, eager to join the fight, but he knew that he needed to be at full strength before he could make a difference. Collecta, watching the chaos unfold from her lair, was pleased with the progress of her plan, but she knew that the Titans were formidable opponents. She decided to unleash her final weapon, the, quote, slightly used Justice League. With a flick of her wrist, she activated the cardboard cutouts, imbuing them with a surge of chaotic energy. The Justice League sprang to life, their googly eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. Now, Collecta hissed, her voice filled with dark satisfaction. Let's see if the Teen Titans can handle a team of discount heroes. The fight was far from over. The city was still a chaotic mess, and Collecta's slightly used Justice League was about to enter the fray. The Titans were facing their greatest challenge yet, a battle against the absurd, the ridiculous, and the undeniably greasy. And they were going to have to do it on a limited time offer.
I forgot about Beast Boy, to be honest with you. Okay. No. Yeah, with the Justice League coming in, the cardboard knockoffs coming in, you need help. This is too much. Collecta's really annoying, bro. Why did I create her?
Cyborg, his circuits buzzing with the strain of repairing the tower's systems, monitored the ongoing battles through the holographic display. He saw his teammates struggling, each facing a unique and utterly bizarre challenge. The slightly used Justice League was about to enter the fray, and he knew that the Titans needed reinforcements, and fast. This ain't a drill, he muttered, his voice strained. We need backup, and we need it now. He rerouted power from the tower's defense systems to his communications array, sending out a distress signal to their allies. Titans in need of immediate assistance. Code, Discount Apocalypse. First to respond was Aqualad, his voice calm and resolute. I'm on my way, Cyborg. What's the situation? It's complicated. Cyborg replied, his voice laced with exasperation. Think fast food, knockoffs, and pure, unadulterated chaos. We need all hands on deck. Next, DC Bumblebee's voice crackled through the comms. I'm en route. What kind of crazy are we talking about? The kind that involves a giant, greasy monster and a witch with a serious sugar rush, Cyborg said. Jinx, her voice laced with a hint of amusement, chimed in. Sounds like my kind of party. I'm in. Beast Boy, his voice a mix of confusion and excitement, followed suit. Changing into something greasy-proof, coming now. Miss Martian, her telepathic voice clear and reassuring, added, I'm on my way. I'll provide mental support and any necessary telepathic assistance. Firestorm, his voice a fiery crackle, announced, ready to bring the heat. I hope this McDonald's manager likes his fries extra crispy.
Oh.
Finally, Stargirl, her voice bright and determined, declared, Stargirl and the cosmic staff are ready for action. Let's light up this discount nightmare. One by one, the reinforcements arrived, each bringing their unique powers and skills to the chaotic battlefield. Aqualad, surging through the city's flooded streets, used his hydrokinesis to create powerful water blasts, attempting to wash away the greasy residue left by the McDonald's manager. DC Bumblebee, her miniature size and enhanced strength proving surprisingly effective, zipped through the air, disrupting the Witch Power Puff Girl's magical constructs and creating miniature sonic booms to disorient her. Jinx, her powers of bad luck and probability manipulation, added a layer of unpredictable chaos to the already chaotic battle, causing the slightly used Justice League's cardboard cutouts to malfunction and the Wonder Woman Warrior's knockoff weapons to backfire. Beast Boy, transforming into a variety of creatures, from a giant, grease-resistant cockroach to a flock of fast-flying falcons, provided crucial support to the Titans, disrupting the villains' attacks and creating distractions. Miss Martian, using her telepathy, provided mental support to the Titans, helping them to focus and coordinate their attacks. She also attempted to disrupt the McDonald's manager's hypnotic hum, creating a counter-frequency in the minds of the citizens. Firestorm, unleashing his fiery powers, attempted to incinerate the McDonald's manager and disrupt the Witch Power Puff Girl's magical energy. Stargirl, her cosmic staff glowing with celestial energy, unleashed powerful energy blasts, targeting the slightly used Justice League and the Wonder Woman Warrior. With the arrival of their allies, the Titans felt a surge of renewed hope. They were no longer fighting alone. They were a team, a family, and they were ready to face any challenge, no matter how absurd or greasy.
Was. I'll put Superman and Wonder Woman there too. I will. I'll add them.
We're still stretched too thin, Cyborg yelled, his voice echoing through the tower's comms. We need more firepower, more experience. I'm calling in the heavy hitters. With a few more frantic keystrokes, he expanded the distress signal, reaching out to even more of their trusted allies. This is a Code Omega situation. I repeat, Code Omega. Wonder Girl's voice, strong and clear, responded almost immediately. On my way, Cyborg. What's the target? Think discount deities and culinary catastrophes, Cyborg replied, his voice strained. We need your strength, Wonder Girl. A deep, resonant voice filled the comms next. This is Batman. Reports indicate unusual activity. I am en route. Batman! Cyborg exclaimed, relief flooding his voice. We need your tactical expertise, sir. This is beyond anything we've faced before. Aquaman's booming voice followed, filled with oceanic authority. I have received your summons, Cyborg. The seas themselves are churning with unnatural energy. I will bring the might of the ocean to bear. Aquaman! Cyborg yelled back. The city is a grease pit. We need your help to clean up this mess. Then, a familiar whoosh filled the comms, and the Flash's cheerful voice crackled through. Flash here. Fastest man alive, reporting for fast food duty? Is that right? Just get here, Flash. Cyborg pleaded. We need your speed to contain this greasy monstrosity. Finally, Nightwing's calm, collected voice filled the comms. Nightwing here. I'm on my way. I'll provide whatever support I can. Nightwing, Cyborg said. Your experience will be invaluable. We're facing a level of chaos I've never seen before. The arrival of these veteran heroes brought a wave of renewed hope to the Titans and their allies. Wonder Girl, with her immense strength and combat prowess, charged into the fray, her attacks shattering the slightly used Justice League cutouts and sending the Wonder Woman warrior reeling. Batman, his tactical mind analyzing the chaotic situation, began to coordinate the heroes' efforts, issuing precise instructions and identifying weaknesses in the villain's defenses. He used his gadgets to disrupt the Witch Power Puff Girl's magic and create temporary safe zones within the chaotic cityscape. Aquaman, summoning the power of the ocean, unleashed massive waves of water, washing away the grease and grime left by the McDonald's manager and disrupting the villain's gravitational pull. He also summoned sea creatures to assist in the battle, creating a formidable aquatic force. The Flash, using his super speed, created whirlwinds to contain the McDonald's manager and disorient the slightly used Justice League. He also used his speed to rescue civilians trapped in the chaotic pocket dimensions and hybrid realities. Nightwing, with his acrobatic skills and expert martial arts, joined Robin and Batgirl in the subway tunnels, providing crucial support in their fight against the Wonder Woman warrior. He used his Eskrima sticks to deflect attacks and create openings for his teammates. With the combined might of the Titans, their allies, and the veteran heroes, the tide of the battle began to turn. Collecta's chaotic onslaught was being pushed back, her discount store apocalypse slowly but surely being dismantled.
Okay. Go on. Still going on, Gemini. It's a great battle. Hey, man.
The battlefield transformed into a whirlwind of coordinated attacks and strategic maneuvers. Wonder Girl, with her Amazonian strength, began to dismantle the slightly used Justice League with brutal efficiency. She ripped apart the cardboard cutouts, sending googly eyes and duct tape flying. Her sheer power forced Collecta to reassess her strategy, realizing that even her chaotic imitations were no match for raw heroic might. Batman, analyzing the chaotic energy signatures, identified the source of the Witch Power Puff Girl's power, a small, enchanted candy cane hidden within her miniature witch hat. He relayed this information to Supergirl, who, with a precise heat vision blast, melted the candy cane, causing the witch's magic to sputter and fade. Aquaman, with the aid of his aquatic army, created a massive whirlpool, pulling the McDonald's manager into its vortex.
Ooh.
The colossal fast food monster, overwhelmed by the force of the water, began to shrink, its greasy mass dissolving into a murky fast food-flavored sludge. The Flash, utilizing his speed force, created a series of sonic booms, disorienting the Wonder Woman warrior and creating openings for Robin and Nightwing. He also used his speed to phase through the knockoff lasso, rendering it useless. Nightwing, working in tandem with Robin and Batgirl, used his Eskrima sticks to disable the Wonder Woman warrior's cheap armor, exposing her vulnerable points. Robin, with his tactical precision, delivered a series of precise strikes, incapacitating the knockoff heroine. Miss Martian, her telepathic powers amplified by the combined mental energy of the heroes, created a powerful psychic barrier, shielding the city from the lingering effects of the McDonald's manager's hypnotic hum. She also began to unravel the chaotic energy that Collecta had infused into her creations, weakening them further. Firestorm, combining his fire and transmutation powers, began to purify the city, burning away the greasy residue and transforming the chaotic energy into harmless ambient warmth. Stargirl, her cosmic staff blazing with celestial energy, unleashed a powerful barrage of starbolts, targeting Collecta's lair. She aimed to disrupt the source of her power, cutting her off from the chaotic energy she was manipulating. Collecta, watching her carefully crafted chaos crumble around her, began to panic. She had underestimated the resilience of the heroes, their ability to adapt and overcome even the most absurd challenges. "No!" she screamed, her voice filled with rage and desperation. This isn't supposed to happen. They were supposed to be defeated. Humiliated, she attempted to unleash a final surge of chaotic energy, but Stargirl's starbolt struck her lair, disrupting her connection to the source. Her power flickered and faded, leaving her vulnerable. The heroes, sensing her weakness, pressed their advantage. Wonder Girl, with a final earth-shattering blow, shattered the remaining remnants of the slightly used Justice League. Aquaman, with a tidal wave of purified water, washed away the last vestiges of the McDonald's manager. And Robin, with a swift, decisive strike, disabled the Wonder Woman warrior. With Collecta's power neutralized, the chaotic energy dissipated, and the city began to return to normal. The greasy residue vanished, the pocket dimensions collapsed, and the hypnotic hum faded away. The citizens, freed from their fast food-induced trance, began to emerge from their homes, bewildered but unharmed. The Teen Titans, along with their allies and the veteran heroes, stood victorious, their faces weary but triumphant. They had faced a challenge unlike any other, a battle against the absurd, the ridiculous, and the undeniably greasy. And they had emerged victorious, proving that even the most chaotic of threats could be overcome with teamwork, determination, and a healthy dose of heroism.
Wow. Great story, Gemini.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Creating stories with escalating absurdity and a wide cast of characters is always a fun challenge.
Well,
is there anything else I can help you with today? Perhaps another story, a different creative writing prompt, or maybe some information on a particular topic?
No. I'm okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Feel free to reach out if you need anything in the future. Have a great day.
You too. I don't want to keep going with them. Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day, guys. See y'all next time. Bye.